Hello, guys. Welcome back to another episode of the Girls Lounge podcast with your host, Liz and KT. And last week, Elizabeth was in the hot seat. So make sure you listen to that one before you listen to this episode. But this week, Elizabeth will be interviewing me. I know she worked on the questions, but I made sure to already get my outline together. So I've not seen a single thing. I'm a little nervous, but I'm excited.
There's nothing to be nervous about. I took some info from your questions last week and then also just things that I've been wondering. So, the tables have turned, Kennedy.
Oh Lord, what has Liz been wondering? I'm scared. But that just made me even more nervous. But of course, we're gonna get into what we've been up to. But before we get into that, you guys should definitely make sure you're following us on whatever you're listening to us on, or subscribe if you're watching on YouTube, because we would really appreciate it. But for me, I forgot to tell y'all last week about how I was humiliated in my digital media class. Yes, I was so embarrassed. So we had to work on these monster projects. So we had to build monsters from like the ground up in Adobe Illustrator. And why did she decide that we were gonna, show every single person's in the class in front of the whole class? I was like, girl, why would you do that? But thankfully, it was like a dead class. Like a lot of people were missing. I was like, thank God. Like I have like a quote unquote class crush in that class, and thank God he wasn't there because I would have been so embarrassed. And mind you, this is like a class that's full of like artsy people. Like they have a fine arts like degree, that's what they're pursuing, or they're like broadcasting slash journalism, so very creative people. And I'm a marketing girly who's just here for a credit. So I was like, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. And it was the worst in this class. And I kept telling myself, like, oh, like surely there's someone worse than me. No, I was the worst one. And I was the last one. And I was like, wow, this is humiliating, but it's fine. So if something humiliating happened to you recently, just know you can get through it if I got through it. And then in my marketing management class this past week, which we only had 2 days of school this past week, which I'll get into, I had the best experience because I've talked about this before. I'm pretty sure on this podcast too. But I know like in my YouTube vlogs, I don't know. I be saying a lot of the same things in different places. But basically we had these speakers, which two of them I've had last semester and I absolutely love them. And they're McLaren fans. And long story short, I was wearing my McLaren sweatshirt, which was not on purpose. This is the second time this has happened where I've worn like McLaren merch, and like and then they bring it up and I'm like, oh. But this time they actually noticed, and I was like, oh my God. So that was like really cool. Message them on LinkedIn. So this is your sign to message speakers that come to your class on LinkedIn and connect with them. And then this past week has been crazy. I literally only went to school for 2 days. I had myself basically like a mini break. We all know during the spring semester it's a little rough because, there's just not as many breaks during the fall semester, but thankfully we got some snow and I was over by the second day, but I will say it was nice because my period decided to show up Tuesday morning. So I was like, this is like the perfect week for this to happen. So we didn't have class Wednesday and Thursday, and then classes resume Friday, but I don't have classes on Friday. So I just had myself a mini break, which I'm like, ooh, that means going back to regular scheduling next week is going to be rough. But hey, I enjoyed it. I did a lot of writing, a lot of watching TV. My screen time was definitely way too high than I would like to admit, but I enjoyed my relaxing little days.
I love it when those little snow days happen in the spring because literally the only thing that gets me through the spring semester is spring break and it's too far. So happy for you, Kennedy. And then on what I've been up to, I've just been going to class, my regular 9 to 3 day. Don't know how I do that. But this week, me and one of my friends, we actually booked part of our like spring break plans, and I'm so excited. So we get 3 weeks of spring break from April 17th to May 4th. Yeah, that's what I thought too, Kennedy. So we had like a rough draft of like what we wanted to do. And then this week we went through and we did have to like change kind of the whole plan a little bit, like the order, because there was like our like first flight went up a lot. So we had like change up our orders and everything, but we did book from April 24th to May 4th, and I'm so excited. So y'all will be hearing about it when the time comes. But that happened this week. And then I just got back from a little weekend trip and we stayed in Spain. We went with like the university and everything to Granada. And let me just tell you guys, I think this might be my favorite place that I've been to in Spain. It was just so pretty, like all the culture, because the area where Granada is, so it's in the like the region is called Andalusia, which I kind of think of it as like the states here, you know, like the different states and then the different cities within there. But this specific like area was like conquest. It was there was some Arabic people that were ruling it for a while. So there was a lot of like different culture and everything, and I really liked it. And the weather was so pretty today. Yesterday it was raining a bit. We did get a little bit wet, but that's okay. And let me tell you, this like little region, they have this thing where like you get tapas. So tapas are like a kind of like finger food, you know, but you just pay for a drink and you get a free like tapa with it. So you get a drink and you get free food with it, and the drink is like $2. So I was eating good this weekend.
I've never heard of Granada before, but it sounds really cool. So, what are some specific things that y'all did?
So one of the things we did was we went to this thing called the Alhambra, which is where like they have like palaces that were like they were first constructed by like the Muslims and then by the Christians and then back and forth. So it's just really rich in history and everything. And the details are actually insane. Like being up there was really, really crazy. That is where it rained a little bit, but that's okay. And then we like walked around the city, a lot of like narrow streets, going up steep inclines with the cobblestones. Yeah, the cobblestones, it you definitely do feel it like when you're walking, you know, on your feet and everything. It does hurt a little bit after a while. But we did that, just walked around a lot. We also went to a flamenco show actually, which was really cool because it was like in this like cave kind of. And it was very neat to see it all because honestly, there was a couple times when I thought the lady like twisted her ankle because her ankle would go like, hold on, let me put my mic down. It would go like flop to the side like when she was dancing, but it was part of her routine, I guess. No, but and then there was one point where I thought she fell forward. No, she was okay. It was part of it. It was part of the show. It was really cool though because there was like singing and then they would like make music basically like kind of like tap. It kind of reminded me of like tap dancing, but different. And then I also really liked, I think, Granada just because like I feel like every corner there was people like outside like singing like their traditional songs and everything. Just the vibes were there. It was very like peaceful, I felt like. And then I just ate my way through, you know.
See, that's the best way to get to know a culture is through its food. But that place just sounds so nice. And I'm gonna take a guess on your spring break trip. Is one of the countries you're going to? Oh wait, is it like y'all are going to multiple countries within the
Yeah,
country?
we're going to, I think, 7 countries total. Yeah. And our plan, let me give you a little preview, a little sneak peek. We start off, wait, do we start off? Yeah, we start off sleeping in the airport, and then there's like 2 nights where we do like overnight buses and we sleep on the bus. So it'll be a really interesting time.
So I'm gonna put out two countries, France and Italy.
You
And
got one of them correct.
okay, I wonder which one. And surely y'all take a pit stop, a day trip in Monaco. So no Monaco. Okay, I
No,
mean,
because that was like part of the original trip. The original trip, Kennedy, I thought of you because I was like, we have to go to Monaco. And it was like a 20-minute bus ride from Nice. But that's when our plan just went downhill. So I do want to try to make it there. I'm putting it out there for you, Kennedy.
I wonder if part of that. Oh wait, because you said it like went up. I wonder when the Monaco GP is. Is it
That
around
would
that
actually
time?
be really, I don't
I
know,
don't
but that would be really like cool if it was there. Imagine I'm just casually there and then Charles Leclerc just
know.
speeding on by.
Honestly, no matter like if y'all happen, I don't know. I have to look at the race schedule again, but like I follow two TikTokers who live in Monaco and they see race drivers all the time. So like if y'all go in an off week, y'all might see some for real.
Trust, Kennedy, you will be the first to know.
Yeah, and make sure you get a video of one of them saying, "Hi Kennedy, I wish you were here." And I would just love that so much, especially if it was Lando Norris or Charles Leclerc.
I'll keep that in mind.
Thank you, thank you. But I'm literally so excited to see where you go to, and I'm glad you had a great weekend in Granada.
Thank you.
De nada.
Okay, she practicing her Spanish over there.
Yeah, you already know. Okay, not to get off topic. I heard this TikTok of Carlos Alcaraz saying he was single or whatever, and I was like, say less. Duolingo, you will be seeing me, and I will be at the Cincinnati Open. I don't know. I keep bugging my parents about it, especially because like it's like near my birthday. Like it's from like August something to the 18th, and I said, you guys, we need to go. Like all my favorites are gonna be there. Carlos, Coco, Ben, Taylor, Tommy, all of them, and many more. And my mom was like, how much are tickets? I'm like, we got them. And I just said, I don't know. So I feel like I'm going to have to do some more schmoozing over spring break because, like, I have to go, you guys. Like, I genuinely have to go. I don't even care how many matches I'll be able to watch, but, like, I just need to go. Like, it's so close. Like, I have to go.
Surely she gets the hint.
No, that part. But before I make us go off topic anymore, because that's one thing I will do, we are going to get into our faves of the week. So, Liz, what have you been loving this past week?
Let me tell you, I am never taking for granted a hotel room. So since we went with like the university, we had like hotel rooms, and y'all, I felt like I was living so luxuriously compared to like, okay, the hostels, like they're not bad, but obviously they're not like luxurious, you know? Like breakfast included, say less. And then hot water with a shower inside of your room and only two people in the room, including myself. Oh, I was living lavishly.
I just know that was probably one of the best feelings ever. I feel like every time like I watch those YouTube vlogs where they're like stay in a hostel for a while, then and then they like stay at a hotel room, they're always like, oh, we love it here. This is so luxurious.
No, because the way I actually wanted to like take a nap in the room and everything, like, oh my gosh.
So for my favorite of the week, of course, you guys know I'm a newer Tate McRae fan. She just released an album on Friday. You guys, it has been on a repeat. The day we're filming this is Sunday. When I tell you guys, I have already started memorizing words because I legit have only been listening to this album. It is so good. Every time I listen, I have new favorites. Like it is just so good. And like there's like if you need a new album to listen to or a new artist to get into, listen to this album. And listen, don't sleep on Tate. Listen after you listen to this album, go listen to her last album. Cause I'm still like I said, newer. So like I'm still trying to, get into her discography. So I'm like listening to both simultaneously and it's just chef's kiss. She is just so good. I just love her vibe, her personality, and just her concepts in her music video. She's very creative. And I feel like she's just bringing back the pop that we grew up on, where it's just like extravagant. And I just kind of love how like the pop girls are just kind of bringing back like a raunchy music, but to a beat. And I love it.
So like sounds like I'll be listening to this tomorrow morning on my bus ride to school.
Yep, perfect time. And listen to it with like no shuffle on, because that's the perfect way to listen to an album.
I'll listen to it from start to finish.
Perfect. And it's only like 42 minutes, so it's a shorter album.
Perfect. On my way to school and on my way back from school.
Exactly. We got lists of plans. But I'm so excited for this episode, you guys, because not only is it going to be about me, but no, I was playing.
Okay, kidding me.
But also because we are finally able to talk about sports again. Who would have thought, literally me 4 years ago, I was in the depths of hating sports. So who would have thought that I would be excited to talk about sports? But here we are, because the F175 live just happened. Which before we get into it, I feel like I need to get some thoughts off my chest. Because I don't know if things have come up on your For You page, Elizabeth, but some people in the F1 community are just being so annoying about it. But if you're not familiar what the show was even about in the first place, this is not like a normal thing. It's like celebrating 75 years of Formula One. So that's why they put this on and decided this would be a perfect time for all the teams to come together, show their car liveries, and just kind of have an event to celebrate, obviously, 75 years of Formula One, and just have an event for the fans, which I love. Like I know some drivers, Max Verstappen, were like, this is so stupid, but honestly, this was really for the fans, honestly. And I'm glad the fans got to have this event, and I'm glad they made it more accessible. Like they were literally streaming it for free on YouTube, and they kept the recording because I didn't watch it live. But I watched it like the next day. It was only 2 hours, so it was like, it was giving the vibes of an award show, which I really like. But some people, of course, they just always gotta have their opinions. I've just seen some discourse on TikTok where people basically were saying like, this is the downfall of F1. And then I was listening to a podcast, which I could even finish because they were just saying the worst takes ever. It's not even a podcast I listen to regularly, so it's like fine. But they were just so critical about it, like the jokes that were made, and just I don't know. It's just like, do you guys not know what fun is? Like, I just wish people let people have fun, and they're just saying like, this is the beginning of the Americanization of F1. I'm like, ugh, you guys are so annoying. Like, can we have fun? Please, for one night. And I'm like, first of all, okay, the downfall of F1, the one creator who said that was basically like, they're kind of leaning into like the glitz and glam. I'm like, you're saying okay, we're talking about F1. Remember that. The pinnacle motorsports. From the beginning, it has been about the glitz and glam. From the beginning, it's been all about inclusivity. They literally have had Rolex as a sponsor. They literally have drivers wearing $50 million watches. Like, what do you mean? This sport used to have grid girls. It was all about the celebrities and models who came to the races. I'm just like, girl, we have lost the plot. And then it was funny because I didn't watch her full video, but people said that like she said that we kind of need to strive away from the marketing activities or something from F1. Mind you, she became a fan from Drive to Survive, which I did too. But I'm like, girl, if it wasn't for Drive to Survive, Formula One wouldn't have had this resurgence of views and attendance to races and just fans, especially in America. So like, watch yourself. And she wouldn't even have her job and the opportunities she would get if it wasn't for all this branding and marketing that Formula One has kind of leaned into. So I just thought it was so ridiculous that she would even make those claims, or that people are just so critical about it. Like, it's a show, it's supposed to be fun, it's for the fans, and I think F1 needs more events like this. And I think it was a perfect event. But those are just my 2 cents on it. I don't know, Liz, if you have anything you want to add based off the information that I have given.
Can you give me a lot of information here? I watched like the first 10 minutes of it, and I'll get into that in a second. But the way the glitz and the glam, they're literally driving $1 million cars. As like if you look at their partners and everything that go to, they're literally dressed in like dresses to a rate to watch cars go in circles. Not go in circles, but like go around the track, like it's obviously giving luxury. Like the people at these things are rich and everything, it's a luxurious sport as is. So, and then also I feel like honestly the whole like the jokes and everything, because I've seen clips of the jokes and I've been loving the jokes, but I feel like all the like F1 guys and everything, for the most part, they're all like a fun group of people, I feel like they're all like making jokes and everything all the time. Like obviously some of it is like PR, like when we see the interviews and things like that, but I feel like most of it, I would like to believe it's like their personalities and everything, so I feel like the jokes and everything, it just like it adds to it. It's like part of it, like they're not like a serious group of people. They're like they like to have fun and everything. So I feel like it was also fun for them too. Just because I feel like other than that, they're always like when they're with each other, it's like when they're racing, It's like we don't see them like in this like platform or anything. But I thought it was a fun thing. And then like the 10 minutes that I saw, the intro, they ate up the intro. I loved the intro. It had me like on the edge of my seat. And then a couple like of the jokes that I saw I thought were funny. It just looked like everybody was having a good time and everything. It did give kind of like a award show vibe, but like in a good way.
On the jokes part, I feel like people mostly had problems with the jokes towards Charles Leclerc and the Lando Norris, like Netflix and chill. But I'm like, one, I don't know. To me, it's not that serious. Like, the presenter was a comedian, like that's what he's gonna do. They were laughing, whatever. And I'm like, these guys are probably relieved that these are the jokes and stuff that they're getting. Like, they don't want to sit, like, they are presented with like serious F1 annoying questions 24/7. God forbid they have one night where that, like, even though it's an F1 event and they get asked F1 questions, like, God forbid they get a joke. Like, God forbid. And then, and also in that podcast, they had like, I don't think I don't know if you might have saw this joke, but the presenter was basically like, the whole bit was like he doesn't know about F1. So he was like, so what's the boot space in the car, which is like obviously the trunk space. And they're like, that was a very stupid joke. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's the whole point. That's the whole point. Like, Jesus Christ, like that is literally the whole point. And after that, I had to turn off the podcast. I said, I cannot listen to this anymore. And then also back to the whole spectacle, richness, or whatever of the sport. Mind you, the Monaco Grand Prix. That's all I have to say. The Monaco Grand Prix. That's on the calendar. That's all I have to say. And as an American, like sports are entertainment. Like they have always been entertainment, and that's how you really have to really delve into that side of a sport in order for it to grow and survive. I mean, look at the NFL, look at the NBA, look at whatever the soccer stuff is. Like look at the freaking Olympics. Like, I don't know. It was just all horrible bad takes. And I feel like I just had to address that before we moved on.
And then my last point with that is I feel, oh yeah, what were you saying about they're not getting asked questions like about the sport necessarily, you know? Because like obviously when they finish a race, they're just gonna be getting questions, why did you race that way? Why did you that? What was the strategy? Like all that kind of stuff. Like they're also people, you guys. Like they're not work 24/7 just like any of us. So
That part. And I also love when we can see more of their personality and just take a joke. So I think everyone who has a problem, literally chill out. Literally, just don't watch it then. Just don't, anything fun, don't watch it. Because you're obviously the fun police. But anyways, we're gonna get briefly into the red carpet looks. Honestly, I just really wanted to talk about Kimmy Antonelli's fit, but we can get into that later. I don't know, Liz, how you want to do it. I mean, I put everyone else's, like every single person, just so like Liz could see. But I don't know if you want to go through it like one by one or just comment on certain people's. And then whoever we talk about will obviously be put on the screen so you guys can see what we're looking at. So first we'll go into like our favorites. So honestly, Kimmy Antonelli, which I don't know, like of course that was my favorite. I feel like it was just so different. And he's like younger too. He's like 18. So it's, I don't know, it just fits his vibe. I know a lot of people were clowning Liam Lawson because he's very casual with jeans. I don't know, I like it. It gives Aussie vibes, even though he's a Kiwi. Yeah, honestly, I would say those are my favorites because I feel like everyone else's was pretty like typical. I liked George Russell, he's kind of giving like CEO vibes. Charles Leclerc, I like his little Ferrari pin he has going on. But everyone else's, I feel like, was they kept it pretty simple.
yeah, I agree with Kennedy. I like Kimmy's, and then I also like Charles. I feel like on the bow tie, he probably has like Ferrari detailing on it. I assume so, you know. But I liked his fit. And then now onto the questionable ones. For me, Pierre, I feel like it might be the haircut that's throwing it off for me, or like the pants. I don't know. The bottom of the pants are really throwing it off for me.
Yeah, Jack and Pierre's outfits. I think for me, it's the haircuts that really just that's interesting. And not gonna lie, Carlos, his was a little underwhelming. It was giving like, I don't know. I think it's because like his pants are bunched up at the bottom. And then under that, I have a picture of Esteban and Ollie. And I don't know, Esteban, I didn't put in the picture, but I only have his top half in the picture. But it was like cool or whatever, basic, but his shoes, I was like, it was like red, white, and black shoes, but they're like chunky shoes. So it wasn't necessarily my favorite.
Yeah, so like I think definitely Pierre over here, it's the hair. I think the hair's the buzz cut needs to go. I've said this before, only certain people can work the buzz cut look. And then Carlos looks like he just went to church and dropped off his child somewhere and came here. I don't know, like it's obviously it's not jeans, but it's just maybe it's the jacket that's throwing it off for me or something. I don't know. It just looks like a everyday fit for him.
Yeah, I think that's what it is for me. It just kind of looks like an everyday fit. Lando's was pretty basic. I feel like he wears that shirt combo a lot. Lewis looked very, very classy. Fernando and Lance Stroll, pretty classic, basic looks. It was hard for me to find a picture of Gabriel Borletto, I believe is how you pronounce it. I was like, why is he wearing like a half zip and then like a jacket? I don't know. I was confused, but the face card looks good. So, you know, you can really pull off anything. Nico Hulkenberg, pretty basic. Same with Max and Oscar. But overall, they kept it cute. There wasn't anything that was like, oh my god, why would they wear that? So that's good.
Which I feel like makes sense since it's like a male dominated sports. I feel like normally it's the female who have some questionable outfits.
Yeah, and I do know some like F1 Academy drivers were there. If you guys don't know what that is, that's like kind of like the way to get female race drivers kind of more attention, chances, things like that. From what I saw, their looks were really cute. Now we're gonna get into the cars. Honestly, okay, so F1 was posting graphics that I really liked about like their last year's car versus this year's, which really helps a lot with visualization. But like they were posting them too slow, and I was like, I don't even know if they're gonna have them all by the time me and Liz record. So we're just gonna go off basic thoughts, and I'll try to put in my 2 cents if I can remember if there's any significant changes versus their cars from the previous year to now. And we're going to talk about them in order of the unveiling. They did it backwards or from the standing. So it's from last to first. So of course they saved the best for last, McLaren. But the first car we have is the Kick Stake Sauber car. From what I remember, this looks pretty basic, or not pretty basic, but pretty similar to what it was last year. And then the Williams car, I know they have that new title sponsor, Atlassian. I don't know how to pronounce that. Their car, I feel like it's a bit more blue than I remember. I don't know. I feel like I remember more white on the car from last year. And then the Visa Cash App Racing Bull. Buy one, get one free. If you know, you know. Now, I really like this because this really had the most changes, because it's like all white, and I think it looks really cool, very sleek.
Is
Yep.
the Adolescent, is it not Williams anymore? Like that's how they can be called from
No,
now on?
still Williams.
Oh, okay.
Good question though. Me just being encouraging. I'm like, good question though. The Haas, from what I see, looks pretty similar from what I remember. But it does seem like this year they might be leaning more into the fact that they're like a quote unquote American team. Cause like technically yes, but like also no. And then we have the Alpine, which definitely looks different. It seems like they're really leaning into the blue a lot more from what I remember, but then also a bit more pink, which I think is interesting. I was listening to a podcast and they're like, one of these years they should just lean into the full pink. Which, if you don't know, Alpine was like so many other teams. Like when I first started watching Drive to Survive, it was a like Indian team, like it was called Force India, and they're like all pink, and I thought that was very cool. So I'm like, I feel like they should lean back into that. But I really like the balance between the blue and the pink.
I agree with that. If it was all pink and then hints of blue, that would look really cool. And it would stick out from like all these other ones.
Yes, I heavy on the sticking out. I think that's why I also like the Visa Cash App one because it will stand out more because it's all white. And then Mercedes, or wait, no, that's the Aston Martin. My bad, you guys. It looks pretty similar from what I remember. Same with the Mercedes. I think it has a bit more black to it from last year. Honestly, I can't remember. The Red Bull one, I don't know. I don't care because Red Bull's the enemy, JK. But like I said, it looks pretty similar. Ferrari, I did get this from the post that I saw, but it is a darker red from last racing season, and they added some white to the car for the HP logo, which everyone hates on the HP logo. They say it ruins the whole Ferrari look, but in my opinion, it's not that serious. To me, it doesn't take away anything, but I do think the darker red looks nice, and I like the hint of white, even if there is this big blue HP logo. And then McLaren, I swear, I think it's the exact same. I think they said if it's not broke, don't fix it. They have said a lot of things internally are different, which I hope that's a good thing. But of course, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Especially because in 2026, the cars are going to look different with all the new regulations and stuff. So, might as well just keep it as it was. Liz, any thoughts?
I like the Ferrari red. The deeperness, the deeper red to it. It makes it look more rich. Again, luxurious.
Heavy on the luxurious. Those are our thoughts on the cars. I think they're gonna look beautiful on the racetrack. And surely me and Liz get invited. So, Race, if you're listening, we don't think anything's cringe and we love every single spectacle part of this sport.
Exactly. And we would offer different opinions, the pink car.
Exactly. Again, nothing from pop culture that we're going to talk about this week.
The girlies got no drama going on. And
I know, which is good, but bad for us, JK. But yeah, they're doing good, or there's just stuff that's happened that's like me and Liz would not care about this. Or we probably would have texted each other about it. But yeah, there's nothing going on. So we're just gonna get right into what we've been watching. So, like I said, I've taken full advantage of having snow days and a mini break. So, I finished season 2 of Sprint. If you want to know, there's only 4 episodes. I cried in every single episode except the third one, if you guys wanted to know. And then I watched The American Murder, Gabby Petito, and I have watched so many YouTube videos and just documentaries about this case, but every time I see the cop footage of when they got pulled over, it makes me mad every single time. Just it just breaks my heart, this case, and it's just so sick. But it's an easy binge, 3 episodes, so you can literally finish it in one sitting, which is what I did. Because the episodes were really like 30-40 minutes, so like that's a cute little YouTube video for me, you know what I mean? So that was our easy binge, and I like how we got like the parents were heavily involved. And I always like in true crime stuff because people forget like these are real people involved. So I love when you always get to learn more about the victim and place more emphasis on the victim and their interests and just humanize them. And then I watched the first batch of episodes for Love is Blind season 8. At first, before I started it, I saw a lot of people say that like, oh, this is so boring, like don't waste your time. So I wasn't, but then because of the snow days, I had so much time, so I was like, might as well. And like the first 2 episodes, I was like, okay, I like it. But then I was like, okay, this is so boring because they literally spent 6 episodes on the pod episodes, which is actually insane. If you know, you know, with the way Love is Blind is set up. So I thought that was insane. But finally, when they went on the honeymoon and all that type of stuff, it definitely started to pick up. But then I was like, some of these fights and stuff are just so stupid. Like, these men are just so stupid. All these beautiful girls are getting treated horribly by these ugly men. Like, it actually hurts my soul. But that's what I've been watching.
I'm still watching the same stuff as last week if you guys listened to that episode, but I made progress on Gilmore Girls, and let's just say I'm not happy. Things better get resolved ASAP because I'm not okay with what is going on.
And now we're gonna get into our song of the week. So for me, I know I told y'all I'm obsessed with Tate McRae. So of course, the first song from her album is going to be my song of the week, and it is Miss Possessive. Cause it's just every girl can relate to this, I feel like. But I'm gonna play honestly the whole song I love, but I'm gonna play a part that I really like. So as you can see, it's a whole bop, and I love Tate McRae.
And then my song of the week is I don't even know where I've been on a side of TikTok where I've been getting a lot of like concert videos, so I've been listening to this artist a lot. But it's called, I don't even know if I'm saying this right, but Chapidora.com by Quevedo, and he's this like Spanish artist. And so here's my favorite part of this song. And that's my song of the week. And now for the moment that I've been patiently waiting for, I'm taking over this episode. And I'm going to be interviewing Kennedy. We're going to be getting to know her better, see what she got to say. Any thoughts you have, Kennedy, before we get started?
No, I enjoyed being the interviewer because I knew what was coming. I haven't taken a single peek at all, so I don't know what's coming, and I'm scared.
Nothing to be scared of. I took some of the questions that you did last week because I was intrigued on what your response would be, but most of these are completely different. So you'll have to see what I have for you.
See, what y'all don't know about Elizabeth is she low-key a little evil. So like she's like she just got an evil little laugh, and I'm scared.
I don't know what you're talking about, but anyways, let's go ahead and get into this. So I did kind of like the same setup as Kennedy had. So we have a little intro, we have our main questions, and then I have some just like college, grad school, post-grad questions. Oh, that reaction. And then we have some rapid fire questions. So we're going to go ahead and get into it. We're going to start off with our first little section of the intro. This one might seem a little familiar, but what's your life story, Kennedy?
Suddenly, I don't know anything that has happened in my life. So, my name is Kennedy, obviously. And similar to Liz, literally only my friend group calls me KT. But honestly, they call me KT so much that sometimes when people say Kennedy, I'm like, who is that? Oh, yeah, that's me. Um, I'm 21. I'm a Leo, born and raised in Kentucky. I'm currently in my senior year of college and I'm gonna go to grad school. I'm like, what else should I say? If you're listening, if you don't know, I'm African American. Yeah, I think that's all I can think of at this moment. Oh, I have an older brother. A lot of people might not know that. In high school, I used to do cheerleading and I did track for about 3 weeks. Thank you, pandemic, for you know, taking me out of, some humiliation that could happen with me doing track. But yeah, I did cheer, yeah, middle school and high school, and then I used to do gymnastics when I was little, and I tried out dance. So that's always been like my vibe, that type of stuff. I like rom-coms, and I'm a romance girly, and I'm a dreamer. And I think that's a good life story.
Okay, Miss Adjectives. So my next question is, so you're Leo. Does that align with you, do you feel like?
Honestly, for the longest time, I didn't think so. Especially because one thing, if you didn't know, I was born like a month early. So like I was like 4 pounds when I was born. So I was very preemie. I was supposed to be born like September something. And I feel like, oh, I've always kind of aligned more with like Virgo attributes. But as I've gotten older, I'm definitely like, you know what? I am. Sometimes I do like attention on me. Sometimes I don't, but sometimes I do. And just like other aspects that come with being a Leo, I really do resonate with. But then also, I do know my big three. My big three is Leo, what is it, like sun? Night, yeah, Leo sun, and then Aries moon, and then Pisces rising. So once I know all three of that, like my personality, it just all makes sense. So yeah, I feel like I definitely do resonate with it more now that I'm older, a bit sure of myself. But if you would have asked me a couple years ago, I probably would have said no, like that is not me at all.
A well-rounded individual we have here. What are 3 words that you would use to describe your personality and why?
Oh God, this one, these type of questions, I'm always like, I would say, is it cringe to say funny? I do think I'm funny sometimes. I make people laugh. And I like making people laugh. So I would say I'm funny. I would say I'm very open-minded. Wait, no, I'm very curious. I'm a very curious person. I'm always just wondering about things. And 3, I'm gonna use dreamer again. I'm a big dreamer. In my opinion, I'm just always dreaming about things. Obviously, that's really what it means. I just like the sky. Like, there's no limit in my mind to what I can achieve with anything, which could be good or bad. Some people might think it's unrealistic, but the most successful people are big dreamers and delusional. So
That part. Honestly, I think you did 3 good ones. Like those 3, like I'm like, yeah, that's Kennedy. Like in our friend group and everything, Kennedy always is the one that will make us laugh. She'll say, and it's not even like that she tries, I feel like you just be yourself and it just you have a funny personality. Like, yeah, I like the adjectives I used. And then my next question is, what draws you to social media or content creation? For those of you that don't know, so obviously Kennedy, we have this podcast, but before this podcast, she had her own little podcast, and then lately she's been on her TikTok game, and then she also has a YouTube channel. So, what draws you to just content creation?
oh wow, this feels so professional. So for me, I legit grew up watching YouTubers. Like, I just always just love watching YouTube. And from a young age, I've always been like, I want to do this. Like, this is just so fun. And just like the process of recording and editing has just always been interesting to me. And then also the building a community aspect, I love as well. Like, I've just always love being a part of something, and I've always thought it would be so fun to have something to build my own community, especially not to be like emo. But I feel like a lot of times when I was younger, I used to feel kind of lonely sometimes, and so I would find kind of, quote unquote friends, not in like a parasocial way, but just like comfort and just like a friendly feeling from those YouTubers and stuff I would watch. So I've always wanted to create that for myself. And it's just genuinely is fun. Like I don't know, something about the editing and then putting it to music, it just really brings things to life. And I really like it. I wouldn't do it for like a company or anything, but like for my own stuff and like the podcast, it's really fun.
A creative avenue for yourself. What are some of your personal goals for the podcast?
I've been waiting on this question. So I have so many. Okay, I would say the ones that come first to mind is just growing it to as big as it can be, because I actually believe there's no limit, no cap to where this podcast can go. And I would really want to build a community. And then, like, long term, similar to Liz, I love to work with brands because I feel like we truly, like, I don't know, I feel like that would just come so naturally to us talking about brands and stuff that we love. And I would love to just build a community up to the point where we could, like, maybe do some type of like community type events that would combine things that we love but also get to like meet people. So like for example, I know like Morgan Riddle, she does like Pilates type events during like the Australian Open time. I think that would be really fun. Or even some type of like collab with like a coffee shop and we make like our own matchas or something. So things like that. And then in like this is like big dreamer aspirations, but like I think if we did some type of like live show slash tour could be fun. Because from what I don't really know how they work though, but once I figure that out, I think that could be really fun. I feel like it wouldn't seem like me and Liz could be the type of people to go out on stage, but I think it could be fun, like some type of like a live recording. Oh, I just thought of another event, like if we held like a F1 watch party. I don't know, just like things like that is like the things I'm most excited for that we can manifesting that we can do in the future. So working with brands, building a community, and just growing.
Love that so much, and that's why we're doing this together, Kennedy. And then what are some of your personal goals for yourself?
Personal goals to get an internship, and just really be able to prove myself in the marketing role because I have like no experience except for my internship that I have now. Honestly, similar to you, I would love to get a house sometime in my 20s, probably later 20s. Even though I don't know how that's gonna be looking. I don't know, apartment living, fine. I will say my only experience is college apartment living, so of course it's just gonna be ruckus all the time. But I just couldn't really see myself as a homeowner. I want to settle down, have a hubby or whatever, get a puppy, and more short term. I obviously want to graduate grad school with all A's, hopefully. I hopefully want to move out of state and live out of Kentucky for a while. I know I go back and forth about this every day. There are times where I'm like, ugh, like sometimes I just want to stay close to home, maybe just live in Louisville and like I can just travel and Louisville could be my home base. But in other times I'm like, ugh, I need to get out of here. So just move out somehow, some way. I don't know where. And then I just truly want to travel, experience new things. There's a lot of countries I want to go to, a lot of cities I want to go to in the United States. And yeah, just travel, experience the world, and just spend as much time with my friends and family as possible.
And now we're getting into like the main questions that I have. So now that we know a little bit more about you, for those of you who didn't, and I feel like I've even learned a little bit too, you know. So we're gonna get into our main questions. And my first one is, KT, what are you passionate about, or are you still working on it? If you know, you know.
I knew this question was coming. Honestly, I have no idea. Like, I know there's little things that I'm interested in, but in terms of passion, mine's real empty. I really, it really resonated with me, your passion last week when you're like, I just love like helping people, like you want to help people. And I'm just like, I wish I had that, which I feel like in a way I do, but my version of helping people is like helping people through the internet. So I don't know. I just know that I really love doing the podcast and everything that comes with it, but I also know I also love the parts of marketing that I love. But I think I'm just in general just passionate about things that can build a community, whether that's through products, events, yada yada yada, podcasting, whatever, and just I don't know, community building and just spreading happiness. I don't know. I guess that would be what I'm passionate about.
And honestly, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I feel like community building, it might not be like exactly what it is, but I think that's a good word for it because I feel like a lot of what you do is like building people, like communities and everything, or like building different avenues for people. So I think that's definitely something that like I can see being passionate about that. And then, do you have any regrets in life?
Oh Lord, this question I was saying. No, honestly, no. Probably in the moment I regretted some things, but again, similar to Liz, I'm a firm believer of everything happens for a reason. There's definitely some things I'm like, ooh, I probably could have handled this better. I wish I would have said this, didn't say something, did say something, but overall, no, because it made me who I am today and has left me with the perspectives that I have now.
And I feel like living that way, you're just at peace, you know? If you had regrets, I
Exactly.
feel like you would just be stressing yourself out 24/7.
Exactly.
So, my next question is, what's something interesting or unique about you that most people don't know?
Wow, that's a good question. Now I'm like, wait, I couldn't ask Liz shit questions. But honestly, I don't know because I feel like I'm an open book. So like I feel like people know everything about me. Honestly, I don't know. Honestly, maybe people don't know. Maybe my personality is unique. Even though I feel like I'm like every other girl. But why I say people won't know that about me is because I can be very shy and reserved. And I'm just like, if only people knew. Oh, and okay, I got one. Maybe people don't know that I'm as interested in like fashion as you would think because I don't dress like, the typical fashion girly. Like my outfits are very basic, very mid. I definitely have friends that all dress better than me. Yeah, I still post fit checks on TikTok, but I guess that's one thing. People wouldn't know that I'm into fashion as much as it would seem. And I'm coming around to liking sports more than I used to. People might not also think that as well.
I have been loving the little OOTD TikToks, and I feel like the style is like it works. I like really like it, Kenny. Like for real. Yeah, you're doing your thing with that one.
Thank you.
So my next question is, what are some of your happiest memories?
Honestly, any of my happiest memories are when I'm with my besties or my family. The first that comes to mind with my family, specifically, I'm talking about like my immediate family. That's like your parents and your siblings, right? Yeah, every time we have game nights, I love those. Like we are just a game night family, and I specifically think back to when we played Family Feud. And if you watch Family Feud, like Steve Harvey comes as a walkout song, and I'll never forget. We were sitting there, and it was my dad's turn to play, Steve Harvey, y'all. So he got this big old speaker, and he was like, I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick, y'all. Next thing we know, he's coming through my parents' door blasting music, and we was like, oh god, like just like very funny, like real moments with my family. I just love like that, because life is stressful, so when we just have those fun free moments, I love. And then honestly, anytime I'm with my friends, we have a ball. Like we just have a good time. We're nonstop laughing. We can literally go from the deepest talk, and then within 5 minutes, we're like crying in tears. And I would say I definitely think about our girl trips a lot and just all the hangouts we've had over the summer. Recently, I rewatched the vlogs I made of like a summer weekend type vibe we had, because like it was our friend's Ari's birthday, and then we went up to Indiana Dunes in Chicago. And honestly, I don't really watch back my stuff because when I lived it and I spent the time editing it. But I don't know, it's just it literally my cheeks hurt from smiling when watching back the episode. Like it was just so good. And every time I'm with my girls, I literally like I feel like I'm like going back to like my like a childlike self. And I don't know, it's very healing, I would have to say.
Yes, I feel like both of those, like with your family and your friends, it's like if you have any issues, they're gone, you know, like everything is okay in that moment. And I will agree with like, I agree with everything you said, but with your like family, your immediate family, it's always those like really random memories that are always like the funniest ones. And I love Kennedy's vlogs because I can always just like go back and watch them and everything. So there you go, Kennedy, making a community. And then my next question I stole from yours because I'm very intrigued. Which one will it be? What is your worst betrayal, Kennedy?
I knew this was coming, and I cried. And I cried thinking about it. I low key, okay, I just don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. If they listen to this, I feel like I should put a disclaimer.
Suddenly, people gonna be hitting up Kennedy after listening to this episode.
I know. Okay. I start crying. Okay. It's really not that serious because this is anything that comes to mind is nothing that has happened recently, but it's just like there are things that like don't really bother me. Like I've gotten over it, but it's like in that moment, it was kind of like, dang, that really hurt my feelings. You know what I mean? So I assume that's what you mean by like worst betrayal. And it's things that's like, why would you do that to me? I would never do that to you. So first, oh, like this is gonna get deep. Okay, so one, similar to Liz, I had a friendship that just we were besties for a while, and it just kind of ended with no closure. Which that's not the betrayal I'm talking about. But I would say a lot of things that happened in that friendship were very betrayal worthy to me. Just like, loyalty didn't necessarily lie towards me, even though we've been friends since middle school, one of them even elementary school. So it felt kind of like a betrayal when things would happen. It's like, wow, you're supposed to kind of like, stick up for me. Yeah, you're choosing this person, whether maybe because like they're more popular or things like that. Yeah, we literally hang out every day, every weekend. So I would say that would be a betrayal. And then mixed in with that, I love my parents. I do dearly. But during that friendship, it was that friendship just needed to go. It was very intertwined because we were friends and then our moms were friends. And there would be times there would be issues, and it would seem like my mother wouldn't necessarily hear me out on things, and just at the time I felt like everyone just assumed the worst of me, and that kind of hurt my feelings a lot, and I took that as a betrayal at the time because like, yeah, but obviously there are things I've gotten over, because it's like I can understand how at that point I wasn't necessarily being very open about how I was really feeling, so I can see from how an outside perspective it could seem that way. But yeah, so I'll say that. And then I have another one, but I'm just like really scared to say it. I don't know if I should say it.
Now her sipping her water over there.
I'm scared to say it, but like it's something I still think about to this day. I'm nervous. Okay, all I have to say is
this is a safe space, Kennedy.
Okay. All I have to say is there was a time I wasn't at a group hangout, and someone said something, and it hurt my feelings at the time. And it took a lot to forgive this person. It was something about my YouTube vlogs, because at that time, this was like very beginning, I was just started. Like I think at that time I posted like a prom vlog, which isn't even live anymore. Like I didn't have the professional equipment. I was just getting into like editing. Like my videos from back then are way different than what they are kind of now. And they just said something and it hurt my feelings, and I wasn't there to defend myself. And it was a very shady comment, and I took that as a betrayal, because if any of my friends decided to do anything, I would never say anything shady towards it at all. I'd always be their biggest cheerleader, like their yes man. So in my opinion, it was just like, I would never do that to you, so why would you say something? Really, they probably said something because I wasn't there. But yeah, I would say that's my betrayal. And this is not a person who listens to this podcast, so I'm not even worried about it getting back to them. But if they do, I mean, I'm not hiding anything. So
I'm going back to sipping her water. Are you thirsty?
that's y'all get the real tea today.
Okay, so my next question is, if you could change anything about yourself, is there anything that you would change?
Yes, I hate how socially awkward I am. I don't know why I am. I just hate it. Which I don't know how to explain it. It's just like I want to talk to people. Like they're shock. I do sometimes want to talk to people, but I just like can't. I just hate that I just don't have that natural charisma to just be able to talk to people, make friends easily. I kind of hate that. I wish I could change it, but I just think that's like who I am. And I wish I was able to have more discipline, because I don't have that at all. And I really need discipline, especially when it comes to working out.
So real with both of those, because I feel like I'd be really socially awkward at times. I'm like, why did you just do that? And then the discipline with working out, yeah, Jim hasn't seen me in a minute.
Yeah, I literally did like a Pilates workout last night, and that was like the first time I worked out in like a week.
I just don't know how the girlies be doing everything on a daily basis. My next question for you is, what's a life lesson that you've learned that's shaped who you are today? Feel free to provide like any context if there's like a story or anything.
I would say the biggest thing I've learned is you can expect people to act like how you will act. Because that's something I can really get hanged up on, no matter whoever the person is, classmate, friend, family member, because that just adds more stress to your life for literally no reason. But yeah, I would say that's the biggest lesson, because anyone with anxiety, like you have anxiety about things that are out of your control, and obviously other people's behavior are out of your control. So obviously, that's gonna bring more anxiety. So I just try to learn to like, you can't control other people.
Even though that sucks sometimes. What's a dream or goal that you have, and is there anything holding you back from reaching it?
Wow, that's a good one. Dreams. Low key, I'd be scared to say my dreams out loud.
You don't have
Hmm.
to say it. You can just tell us if there's anything holding you back from like reaching. Because I know like putting it out there and then like, yeah.
I would say what holds me back is honestly the fear of if I'm really capable of being able to live up to my dreams in my head. Like, can I really do this? Can I really see myself doing that? And I'm like, is it just me psyching myself out, or is this like actual like my body telling me like, girl, this is not the best decision, or is it just like out of fear? I don't know. I go back and forth over that.
So real. It really be the fear. Yeah. And then my last question in this little section is you are someone who keeps up with social media a lot. So like you talked about like you watched YouTube and everything, so you did all that. Is so you've like know all the different eras. Is there a specific era from social media that you wish you could relive?
Girl, all the time. I miss the era of YouTube low key when we were little, when it was just very like a lot of music videos and like skits and just like funny stuff. Like that was just so good. Like that's what's really prevalent in my mind is that era. And just like I don't know, just like the is it bad to say kind of like the prank era of YouTube? Like I was really young, so like obviously I fell for it, but I don't know. I feel like that was just a time on social media, specifically YouTube. Instagram, I low key miss when Instagram was very simple. You're only allowed to post one picture, and it was a square, and Instagram wasn't trying to do too much. I miss early TikTok so bad when it was just like basically like TikTok dances, and that was a time to be alive. And when it wasn't, I don't want to say crowded with influencers because I love the influencers on TikTok, but it just wasn't so like I missed it before people on TikTok started to catch on to like things that the YouTube girlies have been knowing about, such as like the brand trips and how much influencers get paid. I'm like, y'all, the people that have been here, we've been knew about this. Like, so it's annoying to see that discourse again because like, ugh, we've been here 5 years ago, 6 years ago, 8 years ago. Why are we talking about it again? And back to YouTube. I feel like I low key missed like the brand trip era when it wasn't controversial, and like the dope girl era before they got canceled, and just people loving Coachella, like that type of vibe when like LA was the place to go.
You just unlocked so many memories, especially with like the pranks and like the skits when like they would like wear wigs and everything. Yeah, that was a time to be on YouTube. And then my next little section of questions is college, grad school, and post grad questions for you. Other than getting your master's, is there anything else that you hope to accomplish during that time?
I want to just honestly hopefully give myself a better college experience than I've had the past 4 years. It's like it's my one last chance. I'm pretty sure I'm only gonna be going for a year. I think my grad program's only a year. Just really just be out there, do what I need to do, live my best life, go to games, try to make more friends, even though that's like not top of my mind, but just really just live out my last year of schooling ever. Because like for me, since I know I'm going to grad school, honestly the senior year of undergrad hasn't really felt like, oh my god, it's my senior year, because like I know I have more school. But yeah, in terms of like work wise, I just really want to make good connections with professionals and just hopefully gain more clarity on post grad life and where specifically within marketing I can fit in and excel at.
And then what is your like dream ideal job? It doesn't have to be like a specific thing, just like what you would do if you don't know.
Okay, so I was like, I wonder if Liz is gonna ask me this, and I was like, I feel like I have like two versions that are like equally number one for me. And one would be working like as like a brand manager type B, or like, yeah, that type of thing. But then also doing social media. So like that would be like my dream scenario, like doing like being a content creator, but then also doing something else part time. Actually, I have three. I have three perfect like dream jobs. So that working marketing and then being a content creator full time. And then next would be working in marketing full time. And then still doing social media stuff. So okay, those are basically the same thing, but one scenario is working part-time and one is working full-time. So they're not the same. And then third scenario would be being a full-time content creator, doing the podcast and YouTube, which is like crazy to say because we don't have those numbers right now. But like I said, I believe in myself. I believe in this podcast. So in the future, it is going to come, even though we can't see it right now. But I know a lot of influencers, content creators often say that like they don't feel fulfilled. But I don't know. I feel like I could be fulfilled doing this full time. But that's just my personal opinion. So those would be my ideal dream jobs.
And then, is there anything that has changed on your outlook recently with like graduating, entering grad school, and like just post grad in general? Anything that's changed?
That I don't have to rush so quick into getting things that I want. Like in my mind, I'm like, I have always thought my life ends once I turn 25. Like, so I need to have all these things. I need to live in the perfect city, have the perfect job, blah, blah, blah. But I just realized like it's okay if my first job is not necessarily my dream job. It's okay if I'm not living in my dream city right away after post grad. Like that's maybe what we see on social media, but that's not doable for everybody, and that's literally fine. Everybody's circumstances are different. And that's mostly like because of my own expectations that I put on myself. I know Liz said something similar to that in the last episode, but truly like no one's really expecting much from me, but I expect the world from myself for some reason when literally no one has ever like put that on me. So just realizing that like nothing has to be perfect right away, and that's fine, and like life is gonna have all these changes and I just need to roll with it.
That part, Kennedy. Oh my gosh. So next up, I have rapid fire questions for you. So first thing that comes to your mind, what is the last song that you added to your playlist? I feel like I know this is gonna go, but
Oh god, I'm gonna have to look because I've been listening to a lot of songs recently. It was most likely a Tate McRae song, and I have so many playlists. So I'm just gonna go to my most recent two playlists. And the last song I added to it. Oh, okay. So it actually wasn't Tate McRae. It was the newest Wallow song, Coffin Change. So that was my most recent song that I've added to my playlist.
looks like I need to go listen to that. Didn't realize that a new song dropped. And the next question is, what is your biggest pet peeve?
Girl, I got lots of these. I'm a D1 hater, if you guys didn't know. My biggest pet peeve, um, slow walkers. Y'all piss me off so bad. People got places to be and y'all walk too freaking slow. I actually hate it. Like, don't be perusing. And I get it. Sometimes I be a peruser, but I get out the way. If you're in the middle of everything and you're walking slow, get on my face. You literally are gonna get run over.
Who are your top 3 podcast guests?
I've been waiting on this one. So, number one, I've always said this, even when I have my own podcast, that if I could ever do an interview with someone, it would always be Olivia Rodrigo. Like, that is my girl. Like, Olivia Rodrigo. Second, it would be, let's see, I don't know. For sure, it would be an F1 driver, but I don't know how specific I want to get with this. My dream would be Lando Norris. But then, low key, can I put Lando and Oscar as one because they're teammates? I would love to get them together. But then I also love Charles and I also love Lewis. But for the sake of this question, we're going to go Land Oscar. We're going to combine those. And then 3, let's see, I got an athlete, I got a singer. Like, I need an actor, Timothy Chalamet. Yep. Mm-hmm. I would love to get that man in the seat. I need to talk to him. I feel like he would have us dying. Yeah. I need him. I need him on the girls' lounge immediately. And I love how it's the girls' lounge, but I'm like, I want all these men, but they're safe. They're safe to the girls' space. Like they're for the girlies. So they would be safe to have in our lounge. But yeah, Olivia, Lando / Oscar, and Timothy Chalamet. And then I'm just gonna get myself 2 more, even though Liz didn't say that. But like scheduling conflicts, I would love to have a tennis player. I don't know who. I would love Coco, Ben, Carlos, any of those 3. Those are my big 3. And then, okay, I feel like an influencer. I feel like I should say influencer. I just love how I just hijacked Elizabeth's question. An influencer, there's so many. Um, me really debating when I literally asked myself this. Okay. An influencer, who have I been loving recently? Ruby Lynn, because I talked about her recently. I really love her episodes, and she's so cool. So we'll just say Ruby Lynn.
Katie got a whole lineup for us. So now this question requires your phone. So go to your camera roll and you're gonna scroll. And when I say stop, you'll be explaining what you landed on. Okay, start scrolling. Stop. So we had some technical difficulties just now, and Kennedy was on mute, but she landed on the old podcast cover, which is really crazy. Anything you want to say about that?
I'm gonna say that it's crazy and it's a sign of something. I don't know. And I had my eyes closed, as you guys saw. So
Actually, I think it was a sign of something too, but we'll
yeah,
continue scrolling. We'll make it a little, add a
yeah.
little
Let's see if we can
spice
get
to
something
this.
more interesting. Okay, I'm gonna go.
Mm-hmm. Stop.
Oh, I got a picture of a sky. Please, why am I actually the boring person ever? Should we do another 3 for 3? Surely the third
Yeah.
one's better.
Surely the third one, there's a story to it.
Yeah, surely. Hopefully it's nobody that I don't talk to anymore. Okay.
Start scrolling. Stop. Oh.
Ooh. Okay. So it's actually a video. I'm gonna have to crop some things around so y'all don't see some people I don't talk to anymore. But this is a video from August 22nd, 2015. I was at a friend's house. I think this day we just had a car wash. I look busted in this photo. Well, I had braces at this time. This is just a still from the video. I'm gonna listen to the audio real quick to see what I was talking about. And I'll see what I can keep in, but I'll put it up to the mic. Oh, the sound's not on. Okay, it's just a random video of me and my old friends, and I was just being stupid, and someone was making a Musical.ly in the background. So, yeah, it was just us being Delulu.
That's how you know this is long time ago, Musical.ly days.
Right, 2015. I miss Musical.ly. Honestly,
And
another
then
era. Let's bring back MadCon and like all the internet boys. Like that was a time to be alive. Anyways,
honestly, that's what I thought you were gonna do for your era. I thought you were gonna do like one of those eras or like Vlog Squad era.
Dang, I should have.
So my next question is, what is your favorite memory that comes to mind right now?
I feel like honestly the two I talked about earlier. I feel like honestly any memory with my friends or family. That was like the first that just pops up in my mind. And recently, what's in my mind is that weekend when it was Ari's birthday because that's most recent in my mind.
A good weekend. And then my last question is, what's the next thing that you want to purchase?
So I was on Addicted last night and they have these really cute nylon shorts and these baggy jeans that I think are so cute. But I'm like, do I really need to buy more clothes? The answer is no. But they're just so cute. And I have the money, so why not spend it? But that's a bad mindset. That's a bad mindset. And I just bought some things off Amazon. They're necessity. They are all necessities, I will say. Except I did buy a necklace. I'm sorry, I couldn't resist. But I'm just like, I just bought some things from Amazon. So I really don't need to buy more things. But I really want these shorts and baggy jeans, especially for the summer.
This is your sign to save your money, Kennedy.
Yeah, I think I am. Like, it's not a necessity, so I don't need it.
And with that, that is all of the questions I had. We got to know Kennedy a little bit more. Anything else you want to add?
Yes, I think Liz did an excellent job, and hopefully you guys got to know me more. But now I'm like, dang, I feel like the questions I asked Liz were shit. Like, I feel like Liz, you asked some really good, deep, like very well-rounded questions.
No, because I love the question that you asked me, Kennedy. And also I do have to confess, ChatGPT did help me a little bit.
No, because I was wondering that with some of the questions. I was like, this is giving ChatGPT, but still a good question.
Yeah, I had to do a lot of asking.
But you know, ChatGPT pulled through like always.
And with that, that is the end of this episode, episode 42, which is really crazy. Thank you guys so much for listening. We hope that you guys enjoy this episode, and make sure you subscribe, you like, and you follow all of our social media. And we'll see you guys next week on the Girls Lounge. Bye.
Bye.